Thank you for joining me today. If you have a pillow or yoga blocks, keep them nearby. Connect with yourself and your breath as you sink into the ground beneath you. Today's class is going to focus on releasing any tension out of our lower backs and hips. If at any point in the class you feel pinching or pain, please release my guidance and find a comfortable resting pose that feels good in your body. Everything I say is simply an offering. Listen to the wisdom of your body and honor where you are today. Let's begin by finding Badaknasana, our child's pose, by touching the big toes together, sending the hips back, and bringing the third eye space to touch the ground. If your hips don't meet your heels, try placing a pillow underneath of the hips. If you would like to, bring your knuckles to your lower back, gently massaging it. Send some love into this area. When you are ready, stretch the arms out long in front of you, grounding your palms on the earth. Slowly reach your right hand off to the right side of your mat and bring your left hand on top of it. Feel a deep stretch through the left side body, breathing deeply into the rib cage here, expanding through this side. Maybe scoot the hands a little bit further to the right before slowly coming back to center. Take one breath cycle here, and then we'll switch to the other side, reaching the left hand off to the left side of the mat. The right hand falls on top of it, stretching out the right side of the body, breathing deeply into the right side of the rib cage. Slowly begin to make your way back into a center position and then roll your way up to tabletop. We'll begin warming up the spine with some cat-cows. On your inhale, tuck the toes for stability and lead with the tailbone as you roll one vertebrae at a time, flexing into cow. Exhale, tuck the tailbone under as you roll one by one into cat pose, lifting the upper back to the sky as the shoulder blades glide apart. Repeat this movement for several rounds of breath, following your own natural rhythm. Inhale for cow pose, and exhale, moving into cat pose. Keeping the toes tucked provides stability for the lower back and the knee joints. At the end of your next breath cycle, untuck the toes and begin to shift your weight back onto your shins as you come up to a kneeling position. Inhale to find length, and exhale, twist over to the right. Left hand comes to the right knee as you glance over the right shoulder, keeping length in the spine. Breathing tall here. Breathing deeply into this twist, and exhale to release back to neutral. Taking one round of breath, and then inhale for length, and exhale, twisting to the left, bringing the right hand to the left knee as the left hand reaches to the side and you glance over your left shoulder. Breathe deeply. Gently make your way back to a neutral position and tuck the toes under as we make our way into Uttanasana, forward fold. We want to keep a deep, heavy bend in the knees here and focus on folding from the hips, not the lower spine. Bringing your hands to a block may help you find length in your lower back, keeping it from injury. Maybe grab opposite elbows and gently rock side to side, keeping the feet wide apart to protect the lower back. Maybe return to stillness and begin to nod the head up and down, and then look side to side, gently releasing any tension out of the neck. Folding forward helps us to decompress the spine, as so many of us often compress it, causing stress and tension in the lower back. Bring the palms back onto the ground and slowly make your way back into tabletop position, wrists underneath the shoulders and knees underneath the hips. As you inhale, create space to step the right foot in between the hands underneath the chest. Perhaps bring some blocks to the side of your hands to help you find more length in your spine. Tuck the back toes under for stability and gaze forward, inhaling into your low lunge. Stay here for a few rounds of breath, and then begin to exhale and shift your weight back into Ardha or half split. Keep the hips square and fold forward without compromising the length of your spine. Keep a bend in your front knee if that feels better. And breathe here. By releasing the hamstring, we're releasing tension that connects up to the lower spine. The muscles in the spine run along down the leg, so it's important to stretch out the back sides of our legs whenever we feel any sort of tension or stress in our lower spines. Now begin to shift your torso forward into your low lunge once more. Ground the palms to bring the right knee back to meet the left. Maybe take a few gentle transitional movements here, looking side to side, and breathe. Begin to bring space between the ground and your chest as you exhale, bringing the left foot between your hands. Tuck the back toes and inhale to bring the heart and gaze forward, finding low lunge. Use any props or adjustments to find your balance between effort and ease here. Breathe deeply, and then slowly begin to push your way back into Ardha on the left side, keeping the hips square and the spine long. Perhaps finding a slightly deeper fold with each exhale. Remembering to breathe deep and keep length in the lower 1/3 of your spine, allowing the upper 2/3 to hang heavy here. On your next inhale, shift forward into low lunge once more. Then exhale as you ground your hands and bring the knees back together into tabletop. Next, we're going to find Pigeon pose, Kapatasana. Begin by stretching the right leg long behind you on an inhale, and exhale as you bring the right knee to meet the right thumb. Find the angle of your shin that allows you to find a deep stretch in your glute, perhaps placing a pillow under the hip if it does not already touch the ground. Feel free to find a reclined figure 4 position if Pigeon is not accessible for you today. If it feels good in your body, you may want to come down to the elbows or bring your forehead all the way down. Breathe deeply here and relax. Oftentimes, tension in the hip muscles creates pain in the lower back. By stretching out and opening the hips, we may relieve pain or tension in the lower back. We will be here for a little while longer, so make sure you are comfortable and flexing the foot to prevent any injury in the knee. Begin to return back to your present experience and slowly lift yourself back up, pushing your weight into the hands and bending the left knee to bring yourself back into tabletop. Inhale to stretch the left leg behind you, and exhale to find Kapatasana on the left side. Bring yourself to your edge here, using any props or modifications that bring this stretch to your left hip, glute, and perhaps inner thigh, meeting yourself wherever you are today. Find yourself in a comfortable position that will allow you to breathe deeply and release tension here. Without judgment, perhaps notice how this side feels in comparison to the other. Maybe the left side is tighter than the right. Maybe you feel the depth of it in a different region. Breathe into it with compassion. Inhale deeply to slowly come out. Lift your body up and shift your weight onto the left hip to bring the right leg in front of you. Next, we will find Badaknasana, butterfly pose. Bring the soles of your feet to touch in front of you and begin to play around with the angle of your knees. Feet closer to hips will stretch out the hip socket. Placing the feet further away will stretch the outer hips. Inhale to find length, and exhale to hinge forward from the hips. Breathing deeply here. Know that at any point, you can change the angle of this pose if you would like to feel the stretch differently. Slowly roll your way back up, then begin to roll down onto your back one vertebrae at a time by placing both feet on the ground close to your hips. Grab a pillow or block if you would like to. Placing your prop between your knees, gently drop them off to the left side as you extend your arms, perhaps glancing over to the right. Supta Matsyendrasana, our reclined spinal twist. Closing the eyes here may help you deepen into relaxation. Using props helps to support the spine to keep it from stressing out the lower back, and instead to focus on gently releasing it. Use your core to unwind here, bringing the knees back to center. Take a full cycle of breath before letting the knees fall off to the right. Take any adjustments here that you took on the other side. Remember to breathe deeply here, as the breath will help you support this twist. Notice again if there are any differences on this side in comparison to the previous. Perhaps you would like a different placement of the prop, maybe under both knees instead of between the knees. Gently engage the core once more to slowly unwind, bringing your legs back to center, releasing any props you may have used. If it calls to you, find happy baby by grabbing the ankles or feet and maybe rocking side to side on your back, massaging the lumbar spine. Pull the knees back into your chest and curl yourself into a little ball, maybe still rocking side to side, deepening your spinal massage, using gravity and the weight of your legs. To find our final resting pose, Shavasana, stretching the legs out long in front may be too intense on the lower back. Instead, try walking the feet to the edges of the mat and letting the knees fall gently towards each other. Breathing deeply here, knowing that it is time to fully relax and surrender. Really sink into the ground beneath you, letting the breath move slow and deep, letting the mind still, the body still, coming into your being. Begin to bring awareness and gentle movement back into your body, coming back to your breath and the space around you. Begin to roll onto your favorite side, supporting yourself here for a breath or two. Then slowly beginning to push yourself up to a seated position to close off our practice. Inhale as you sweep the arms up overhead, and exhale, bring the palms down to heart center to bow down towards yourself, thanking yourself for your perfect practice today. Namaste.